Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Tuesday, June 27th. It is the final week of the final month of the final quarter, or I mean, of not the final quarter, of quarter two. So big, kind of end this week, with a lot of, fund rotations, options expiries. So it's going to be an interesting end to the week, especially with TCE on Friday. But looking at DXY first, and one thing I just want to note is, it may look a little bit confusing because we're on the 12-hour chart, but right around this bottom right here was the 15th, and right around this top right here was the 15th. A little bit of a spike there on the 16th, but ever since we bottomed on the DXY, we have obviously been that was our peak for equities. And right now we're just kind of ranging. So, shot up a little bit. Obviously, equities, down on this spike from higher, still, above those lows. But if we do start seeping down lower towards those lows again, I would expect equities to move higher. And if we end up, holding this 102.5 level and moving, back up to, the 103 area, then I would expect equities to move lower. Now, the confusing part about DXY is got a Darth Maul candle right here on the 12-hour hovering around the 102.5 area. So no clear read on this yet, but, we will know after a couple more candles whether we're holding, 102 and a half or we're going to break through it. So looking at equities, we held the 4380 level to some degree. Bit of a double bottom here. Grab these lows. Overnight, dropped a little bit lower, grabbed the lows again, and then moved higher. So the moral of the story was, break above the 4384 level, get up to 4400. We're obviously above that now, so holding above 4,400 would be seen as bullish. I'd probably say this level first, 4,425, then 4,440. Obviously, getting above 4,440 opens you up to grab these highs, but a rejection would likely send you back down to that 4,400 level. So something to be cognizant of there. Equities do look like they're trying to bounce back. Let's just look at our basic trend here. Broke above the trend. It's probably likely to try and retest, some part of this trend at some point. But I do think that equities are likely to grab 4,425 or 4,400, at least in the short term. Looking at Bitcoin, a little bit, confusing compared to, I think, looking when we look at Ethereum. But moral of the story here is, Fidelity ETF news, we smashed 3,100 yet again, immediately rejected off of that, but held at the VWAP, which we always recognize as a support zone. And now we're just kind of hovering. So there's no real clear read here. You're sitting in the middle of this larger range. So what I'd like to trade is a break above 3,100 or another rejection at 3,100. And then if we don't even make it up there, then what I would do is I'd trade a break of this VWAP, and then I would trade that down to these levels right here. So no clear trade. Above 31, longing to 31 and a half, rejected at 31, shorting down to 35, break below 30.4, shorting down to 29.9, probably 30K is a better mark for that number. Looking at Ethereum, a little bit stronger. We broke above this 1900 level, but are having obviously some trouble holding that level. Still a lot of time left in this hourly candle, 40 minutes, so it's definitely still could hold. The trade strategy from this morning that we gave to the GTC community still holds true. Break above 1900 and you will attack 1930, and then get above 1930, then you can start attacking all the way up to 2K. Remember, you have these highs right here to contend with. So if we do get up to 1930, expect some sort of resistance. Not exactly an easy trade, in my opinion. But if you are long from a break above 1900 and you took some off and you're waiting, you'd probably add back on a confirmed break above that 1930 level. Now, on the other hand, if we do get rejected again at 1900, if this is basically just like one large deviation, then we will likely do very similar to what we did this morning on the first rejection, which is drop back down to the 1860 level. And then that would be where we either, long again, or you have a potential break lower. And obviously that break lower, your first target would be 1837. Thinking back to equities this morning, remember, every time we have a low just kind of standing there as an orphan, price will likely retest it. And obviously if it holds, price will usually spike back up. So with that being said, I would expect similar in this area as well. If we do tag 1837, probably see a little spike, maybe back up to 1860. And then that would be the confirmed long or short again. Obviously, as we are speaking, we are dipping below 1900. It can still obviously reclaim that. It just needs to close the hourly above 1900. Again, 40 minutes left, but certainly not exactly what you want to see if you are getting long at 1900 level. So what is coming up this week? We talked about it a little bit on the Trading Rebellion show. We have Fed Chair Powell speaking tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. and then he speaks at 2:30 a.m. So this must be a European speech somewhere, because that's quite early in the morning for U.S. times. But we will definitely all be awake for his speech tomorrow, which I would assume people will definitely be tuning in for. And then the big number is PCE. As we explained yesterday, expectations are 4.6%, coming down from 4.7. At or below this number is good things to the market. At or above this number is bad things for the market. So moral of the story today is, DXY seeping lower, but no confirmation. Equities trying to move higher. I'd say they end up, attacking the top of this range eventually. Bitcoin is, no trade for me. I'd like to see, again, above 31 or a rejection at 31, or possibly a break below 3040. Until we, get to one of those levels, I will not be trading Bitcoin. And then for Ethereum, we'd like to see Ethereum hold 1900 to then attack 1930 or possibly higher. A confirmed acceptance back in the 1900 level, or below the 1900 level, I should say, will send us back lower to 1860. So good luck. Happy trading, and speak to everybody tomorrow. Not too much to read on the chart today. I think it's pretty straightforward, not a whole lot of confusion. It's either, we continue higher, or we reject off this level again and move back to the lower end of the range. So it's pretty simple. This is, kind of talking about what I want to see for Bitcoin. This is what I wanted, it's kind of already playing out on the Ethereum chart in terms of what I want to see. Just drawing the similarities. ETH is above this resistance level. And so I want a long on a confirmation above this resistance level. Bitcoin is still below this resistance level. So once it gets back above 31K and confirms that, that's what I want a long. And then, of course, it's similar for ETH. If it, confirms below 1900, it'll probably end up going back to the lower end of the range, which is a good short opportunity. And same thing for Bitcoin. If it hits 31K and rejects or does not accept, then you would short it back down to the lower end of this range. You'd want to target that 30K level, but obviously it's going to be tough. So you'd shoot for 30.4, which is still a $500 move, which isn't bad at all. So that's exactly how I'm looking at trading. Basically Ethereum kind of leading the markets. No clear read from this. And let me get rid of some of these lines. Actually, no, all those lines still 100% work. So that's weird. So we're underneath this, speaking about equal lows again, it's hit these lows, it's hovering around these lows. A confirmed rejection beneath 062, which looks to be forming, but obviously is not confirmed yet. Has would send us back into that below probably 6 cents, or 0.06, I should say. And then accepting back above 062 would send us up to 065, and that would be a very bullish event for ETH. This is where you'd probably see ETH, this type of event, you'd see ETH, probably grab this 2K level, while Bitcoin's still sitting around, maybe 30K or, 31.5 at the most. So that would be, BTC moving higher probably implies, a ETH price above 1930, in my opinion. So doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just, you know, that's how I'm looking at if we can reclaim this 0.062 level. Good things will likely happen on the ETH chart, and decent things probably happen on the Bitcoin chart. So again, good luck. Happy trading. Speak to everybody tomorrow.